Here's a question. What's the point of UKIP anymore? Their new leader, Henry Bolton, has all the charisma of a filing cabinet. That's nice, Anton. I like that line. And the spine of a blancmange. The way the party treated Anne-Marie Waters, as we all know, was disgraceful. But now the question is, do we need a new political party to speak for what's those who have been left behind by the mainstream politics, including UKIP? Or is this just going to fragment the Brexit vote even more? Well, here she is, Anne-Marie Waters, founder of Sharia Watch UK, and she's planning a new party. She joins me now. Good morning, Anne-Marie. Good afternoon, even. Hiya.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, although I'm getting my times wrong. Right, here we are then. Yeah. I've already got people saying you're Islamophobic, it's Islamophobic. You haven't even set up the party yet. What is it? What's it going to be called, and what are you doing?
Well, I think it's probably pretty obvious to people, although I haven't got confirmed registration yet, although I don't envisage any problems.
Yeah.
For Britain.
For Britain, right.
For Britain. I like the idea of having Vote for Britain on our leaflets and things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we should be ready to, the website should be ready by the end of the week. We'll be taking donations, which we'll desperately need. We have 2 fundraising dinners in November, one in the north and one in the south. And I have plans for a big launch with some exciting speakers, but I'm just going to wait and see.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Have you got a backer? I mean, UKIP are always talking about, Aaron Banks this, Aaron Banks that. Are you going to have a big multi-millionaire, billionaire backing you?
I certainly haven't now. I feel reluctant about this because when people give you obscene amounts of money, they will almost inevitably want some sort of say. I really would rather have small amounts of money from a lot of people. I've said that from the start, and I hope that we can reach people that it funds us well enough to go on, because we want to start public meetings in January. So we'll spend the first few months trying to recruit as much membership as we can, and then see where the interest is, and then hold public meetings in those places.
Okay, so the party is going to be called For Britain. What is For Britain going to stand for? What's the main policy planks?
Well, we won't have a main policy. I mean, we're not going to do a single policy. Obviously, Brexit is very, very high on the agenda, but I want us to talk about it differently. When people talk about, including UKIP now, when they talk about Brexit, it's always about trade deals, and of course we have to talk about this. Some people switch off. We need to talk about the EU, the nature of the EU, the anti-democratic nature of the EU, the big super states they fully intend to develop, and that we'll have no say. This is unaccountable governance that's developing rapidly across Europe. And we need to talk about it differently. And of course, the mass immigration that the EU is facilitating, and they will continue to. So we need to talk broader and more widely about the EU and why we need to get out of it and why we need to bring it down. But obviously, one of the big issues as well is Islam, because we need someone who will talk about the religion itself and not pussyfoot around. And there doesn't seem to be anyone. So we need to give people a voice. I heard the story you were talking about before. The police, he said he was sick of Muslims.
No, he was on a train having a private conversation. He got accused of saying, I hate effing Muslims, and then the guy who had made the complaint changed it to, no, he just said he hated Muslims. And I said, well, that's not against the law. You're allowed to talk openly, or you should be allowed to, but evidently not by Manchester Police.
I mean, it's this culture of fear, and all these little examples are just dripping it onto us. There are others, there was a couple of councillors, I think, in Birmingham, for retweeting something. They were disciplined or maybe disciplined. But the fact is we have this constantly, the officialdom constantly giving us examples of warnings of why we can't say anything about this. So and we need someone to step up and say, look, enough. We'll say what we like.
But, of course, already you're being accused of being Islamophobic. Is this party going to be Islamophobic? Do you even recognise the term?
I don't. And, it's difficult for me to engage with anyone who uses it, really, because it tells me that they're not willing to talk honestly about the religion itself and its teachings and the problems it causes. This Islamophobia thing, it's a way of shouting racist, bigot, Nazi, the rest of it in one go, and to attempt to silence everybody. I don't take it seriously, no.
Do you believe that, or would Muslims have anything to fear with Anne-Marie Waters' new party for Britain?
Of course not, of course not. I want to talk about the religion. I want the majority to understand, to learn about the religion with some honesty, so that they know what they want to do about it. This is what and of course Muslims will be offended by that, but that's not my priority. My priority is the non-Muslim majority and how they feel about things, and them having a voice on this. And I also want to speak and involve a lot, and I've got a couple of ex-Muslims immediately involved in my sort of top team with this, because I want to run events for ex-Muslims and offer support to ex-Muslims. This is really important. We have people running for their lives in this country. People are subject to violence in this country because they've left Islam. I really want us to address that as well and bring a lot of ex-Muslims with us.
Where do you stand on the burqa, the full face veil, FGM, etc., etc.?
Completely ban the burqa. On security grounds, we have every reason to argue on security grounds for the banning of the burqa. And there are other arguments, there are political arguments and women's rights arguments to make as well. And we won't be afraid to make them. FGM, well, of course, we need to go into the FGM units and find out who these people are. It's not just a crime to commit FGM in the UK, it's a crime to bring a UK resident girl abroad to have it done. So if she's had it done, we can charge people, and we must charge them. And I feel quite strongly that a lot of crimes, including this one, should include deportation as a punishment for non-British citizens.
Okay. How do you stop the party turning into a racist party? How are you going to keep out the fruitcakes and the racists? I'm being straight with you.
It's really going to be difficult, and I absolutely can see this. Like funding, it's one of the awkward areas that's going to be difficult. But you can see, very early on, we'll be certainly for candidates, we'll be very closely watching what people say. And I don't mean that it'll be an infringement on speech, but if they say things like racist things or anti-Semitic things, that are not, they will be gone. They will be gone. It'll be tough, but if we find any early on, we'll deal with it immediately. And hopefully that message will go out.
So how will you be different to UKIP? And, is there not a fear that, as Anthony wrote in his Q, that you could split the Brexit movement?
Well, look, there are many people who are, in favour of Brexit and want to get out of the EU. It's split across all the parties. There are people in Labour who want Brexit. There are people in the Tories who want Brexit. And, of course, UKIP wants Brexit. We're not, we're another movement, actually, towards Brexit. And I think with the way we'll be talking about it, we can only benefit the campaign for Brexit and to get out of the European Union.
Do you intend to put up people to contest local elections and even national elections? Absolutely.
We hope to start in the local elections in May next year, wherever they are. We will have candidates in them. Obviously, it'll take us a long time to build up so that we can have candidates everywhere, in
Sure.
every election. But we intend to certainly start next May. And parliamentary candidates we're already looking at people for parliamentary candidates to get in and start working as soon as we can.
Do you want to destroy UKIP?
No. I think they may be able to do that themselves. I don't want to destroy anything. They were wrong about this. They are wrong about this. The reaction to my supporters was wrong. They need to own up to it. And they'll be seen widely as on the controversial issues as no different from the rest.
How much will it cost to be a member?
I'll tell you. I'll confirm that later, but I'll keep it as low as I can. But obviously, we need money, but it will be cheaper than UKIP. I can promise that much.
Okay, so you're going for membership. You've got to accept that it's going to be a bit of a toxic brand, which even UKIP is. So how do you get the big money behind it? Because although you say you don't want to be beholden to one, you will need some wealthy people to put cash in. Come on, Anne-Marie, live in the real world.
I do live in the real world. But look, let's see what happens. We haven't even, the website's not even ready yet, so let's see what happens. I'm not saying I reject people who offer me large amounts of money. I'm just saying we must stay true to our principles, and I would prefer not to have, to answer to one or two people. I would prefer to have I mean, look, Barack Obama did it with this $5 idea, and it worked very well. It can be done. There's a lot of people out there with no political home, and I want to reach out to the non-voters as well, people who don't vote because there's no point. We have to give them a point. We can really, if we get it right, if we get the message right, we can really inspire people and get them out into politics.
Okay, you talk about Obama in terms of the financial model. Is the political model like AfD in Germany? No, we're not. We're not going to be like anybody but a new idea, a new movement, a new politics. I'm not copying any other party or emulating any other party. I really just want it to be something new, something that really speaks to people and reaches out to the people who feel they have nobody to turn to and the people who've been ignored for years. And it's not a soundbite. That's really what I want to do. Okay, what about the big names on the right? I mean, are people like Tommy Robinson going to be part of this party?
I don't think Tommy can do party politics because of his work. I certainly hope for his support, and I'm certainly will continue to support him. And I'm fairly confident that Tommy will support the party and ask his followers.
So just before I let you go, where are you going to do your first rallies to sort of get this support behind you?
Well, what we need to do first is get the membership in, and the software that we have will tell us where most membership is. Then we can get in touch with people and start it that way. So we want to go where there's already support and try and build upon it with public meetings and leafleting. So we need to sort of get the membership in first and then decide. But we will definitely cover as much of the country.
Okay. And what's your membership target? Are you hoping to build this to be bigger than UKIP in terms of members? I mean, we know the Labour Party's got 600,000. Tell me what your ambition is.
I'm not going to put a figure on the ambition because I haven't actually thought of a figure. I definitely have it in my mind to be bigger than UKIP, and within the first couple of years, definitely. I don't even know what UKIP's membership is now. Maybe I'll say in the first year I want to be bigger than UKIP, and it can be done.
It's hard to tell because I think a lot of the UKIP's membership's in freefall. They got rid of a load of people, didn't they? Yeah, I understand. Anne-Marie, thank you for talking to us. Come back and talk to us more when you have more information. Good talking to you. Anne-Marie Water.
We will make America great again.